All right, let's hit another chapter of names. We're in First Chronicles chapter 8. Again, 40 verses, just like the last chapter. But it takes up less space in my Bible, so these are 40 more squished verses. It won't take us quite as long, I assume. The What we're covering in this chapter is one tribe. All 40 verses are just about Benjamin's descendants. That's who we're reading about, Benjamin's descendants. Interesting, because Benjamin's descendants also were in last chapter from verses 6 through 12, so 7 verses on them. But now we have a dedicated chapter to Benjamin for whatever reason. The Lord knows and has good reason. Benjamin fathered Bela, his firstborn. Asbel was born second, Ahara third, Noha fourth, and Rapha fifth. Bela's sons, Adar, Gera, Abihud, Abishua, Naaman, Ahoah, Gera, Shephupham, and Huram. These were Ehud's sons, who were the heads of the families living in Geba, who were deported to Manahath, Naaman, Ahijah, and Gera. Gera deported them, and was the father of Uzzah and Ahihud. Shaharaim had sons in the territory of Moab after he had divorced his wives Hushim and Baara. His son, by his wife Hodesh, Jobab, Zibiah, Misha, Malcolm, Jeuz, Sakiah, Mirma. These were his sons, family heads. He also had sons by Hushim, Abitab, and Elpaal. Elpaal's sons, Eber, Misham, and Shemed, who built Ono and Lod and its surrounding villages. Beriah and Shema, who were the family heads of Aijalon's residents and who drove out the residents of Gath. Ahio, Shashak, and Jeremoth. Zebediah, Arid, Eder, Michael, Ishpah, and Joha were Beriah's sons. Zebediah, Meshullam, Hizki, Heber, Ismirai, Isliah, and Jobab were Elpaaz's sons. Joachim, Zikri, Zabdi, Elianai, Zilithai, Eliel, Adiah, Beriah, and Shimrath were Shimei's sons. Ishpan, Eber, Eliel, Abdon, Zikri, Hanan, Hananiah, Elam, Anthothijah, Ephdaiah, and Penuel were Shashak's sons. Shamsharai, Shahariah, Athaliah, Jaarishiah, Elijah, and Zikri were Jeroboam's sons. These were family heads, chiefs, according to their family records. They lived in Jerusalem. Jael fathered Gibeon and lived in Gibeon. His wife's name was Maacah. Abdon was his firstborn son, then Zur, Kish, Baal, Nadab, Gedor, Ahio, Zechar, and Mikloth, who fathered Shimeah. These also lived opposite their relatives in Jerusalem with their other relatives. Ner fathered Kish, Kish fathered Saul, and Saul fathered Jonathan, Melchishua, Abinadab, and Eshbaal. Jonathan's sons were Merabaal, and Merabaal fathered Micah. Micah's sons, Pithon, Melech, Teriah, and Ahaz. Ahaz fathered Jehoiada. Jehoiada fathered Alameth, Asmaveth, and Zimri. Zimri fathered Moza. Moza fathered Beniah. His son was Rapha, his son Elisah, and his son Azai, or Azel. Azel had 6 sons, and these were their names: Azrikam, Bokaru, Ishmael, Shariah, Obadiah, and Hanan, or Hanan. All these were Azel's sons, his brother Eshek's sons. Ulam was his firstborn, Jeush second, and Eliphalet third. Ulam's sons were valiant warriors and archers. They had many sons and grandsons, 150 of them. All these were among Benjamin's sons. That is 1 Chronicles chapter 8. We've got one more chapter of names to go, chapter 9, and then we get back into historical narrative. First Chronicles reads a lot like First and Second Chronicles read a lot like the Kings and Samuel in their narrative style. A lot of the same accounts in Chronicles are in Samuel and Kings, so we got some duplicate stories told from slightly different angles. Chronicles also does fixate on names a little bit more. So while we're going through these first 9 chapters of genealogies of the 12 tribes, We also will encounter names at various points in these books, names of priests, musicians, and whatnot. That was this author's focus, and they're scattered here and there after we get through these 9 chapters. It's not constant names throughout the rest of the book. We'll run into them here and there. Other books do that. Ezra has a long list of names, chapter 2. This is stuff that happens in certain passages. This was important to their culture. Obviously, since those of us who are conservative Christians believe the Bible is theopneustos, God-breathed. It is a joint human and divine effort. God is its author along with human authors, so these lists of names are important to God too. And so we read them, even if we don't know why, and hopefully one day, if not on this side, when we are in glory, we'll know exactly what's going on with this and why these names are important. And maybe at one point we'll even look at these chapters and be able to say, cool, that is really awesome. And I would love to be able to do that. So anyway, thanks again for hanging out with me as we read First Chronicles chapter 8, Benjamin's descendants, and hope to see you back here with tomorrow's reading, where I think we're back in Acts again. Have a good day. Hope to see you back here.